So this is part two. I don't know where to go to meet a guy in California that wants to get married and have a relationship that's not homeless, hobosexual, whatever. I know tons of guys, they're like, I want to get married, I want to have kids. And then you talk to them and it's like they're struggling and they have roommates or they live with their parents. They can't pay their bills by themselves. And then they try and explain stuff to me because it's like, I don't understand. And they try and make it seem like I'm a dumb woman and I don't understand. But it's like, I went to college, I have an education, I have debt, I have regular debt, I manage everything, I make a decent income, I pay all my bills, and I can live alone. I don't understand why you can't, and I have more debt than you. And my debt's pretty much student loans. And they're like, okay, so I actually have debt, student loans, you have a job, and you have rent to pay, and you have food are the only real necessities you have, but you're having a hard time providing those. But you're like, you want to get married and have a relationship. And it's like, when I was young, I was all about building up a man, helping a man get on his feet. I would be like nice and help you write your resume and all this stuff. I'm a nice person. I'll still help someone write their resume and everything. But I realized something recently, because people have come to me because people know that I know a lot of people and I know a lot of fields and I can recommend somebody to get a job or something. So people will talk to me and I'll be nice and they'll tell me what's going on, like they're having issues with something, and I'll recommend a place and I'll give them a reference. But people don't listen to me, and it's like, I knew somebody, I offered them a job. Well, I didn't offer them a job, but I'm like, I can get you a job. All you have to do is listen to me. And then the people were waiting to hire them. They did not listen to me. They went to a different person, and then they were rejected. And once you get rejected, they're not going to hire you. So they didn't listen to me. They messed up and said something, and I was like, no, I told you not to do this. You did this behind my back. You would have if you told me like I told you to tell me, you would have got connected with the right person and you'd have a job and you wouldn't have the issues you have now. And then I was like, nice. And then they were like, oh, they're having food issues. And they were like, oh, I like this. So then I gave them some stuff so they can grow their food, because they're like, oh, I like gardening, I have space and everything. So I gave them stuff to grow their food, but they didn't. And they're like, oh, insecurities, and they're talking about like all this stuff. And it's like, okay, I'm confused. I keep giving you the stuff you need to succeed. You do not listen. And then you come back to me and tell me you have these issues. And if you don't want to work at the place that I tell you that's going to give you the best income, that's like one thing. But then you come back to me and then I give you more stuff and then you don't listen. And it's like, how do I help you? And that's like how men are. Because it's like, I can lead a man to water, but I cannot make him drink. It's like, I can give you a job. I can basically give you a job by recommending you and you'll get hired. And then you're like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And then I'll offer you like the most basic job where you don't have to do shit but show up. And it's like, you don't even have to be awake. You just have to show up. And then they're like, that's too hard. So it's like, if I do get married or have a kid or something, I don't know if I want to get married, because you hear horrible stories about hobosexuals, and hobosexuals are broke and they have nothing and they're basically dependent on you. And that's kind of scary if you marry one and then you get sick and they can pull the plug on you, and they have a life insurance policy on you, and they'll pull the plug on you right away to make sure they get that insurance money because otherwise they're broke or whatever without you. But they get a lump sum of money, and who knows if they have a policy on you, because if you just have a kid with them, they're not in charge of your medical stuff. If something happens to you, that would be your closest blood relative or whatever. So I'm thinking, who knows? If I do wait long enough where I need to decide if I want to have kids or not, I'm definitely not going to go to a sperm bank. But it's like weird. I can be in a relationship with the guy. That's the funny thing. I can be in a relationship with a guy, and it's a pretty serious relationship. Like where we're together all the time and we hang out and we're like best friends and everything. And you will buy everything. You will let me drive your car. You will let me crash your car. You will not get mad at me. And all the stuff. You will spend every day with me. You will introduce me to everybody. You will consider marrying me, but highly unlikely. But once I say children and I want to get in a serious relationship and have children and marriage or something, and this is the guy that's well off, he'll be like, yeah, this isn't working out. And like, that's the awkward thing. But the thing is, even if I got with him and ended up pregnant or something, he would most likely take care of the child and like step up and probably marry me. But, and like that's a good thing, but it's like, oh, it was a mistake and we got married because stuff happened. But then there are some of those guys, they're like, oh, I'm pro-choice. We're not in the right place or whatever. And then, because it's like, I really don't understand. Like a hobosexual, like they don't care who they have a baby with. Because like there was this guy I met one time. It was like this crazy story. It was like this giant white man that was covered in tattoos. And he was fresh out of prison. And it was awkward because I was young and I was very dumb at the time. I did not date this man. This man kept trying to date me. And then, because I met him by mistake, because I was young and dumb. And he lived in a halfway house, and I never went on a date with this guy or anything. I tried to hire him for a job before I knew who he was. And it was just like crazy. But he was he was like, oh, we should have a baby together. We should get in a relationship. And he was like, he had like 5 other kids with like 5 other women or something. And he's like, because it's like, I've had people like try and have kids with me before, but we were not in a relationship, just random strangers. They're like, oh, we should have a baby together. And like people I know and don't really know. And it's like, yeah, I don't want to have a baby with you. You're basically a hobosexual, a bum, and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, no, and we're not even like that friendly. But I do not understand. And they would like completely do it, because some of these guys, they have kids with multiple people. And they're like, oh, I don't care. It's like, you're cute. That would be a cute baby or something. But it's like, yeah, no. But then the guys I date, I do not understand it. Why do you have a dating profile that says you're looking to get married and have a serious relationship? What is a serious relationship to men? I do not understand. Men confuse me so much. I know this is a rant, but I do not understand. But basically what it comes down to, because I'm pretty much thinking when I get older, I'm not going to a sperm bank, because even a hobosexual might be a bum or a loser. I strongly believe kids deserve to know who their father is. And then I only want to have kids with one person. I don't believe in multiple baby daddies and all that stuff. That's not something I believe in. I don't believe in multiple baby daddies, multiple baby mamas. I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe in half siblings or any of that. So if I did, I would not go to a sperm bank because you never know how many kids they like the people at the sperm bank end up having or whatever, and then you never know where these kids are. Because sometimes I see kids and I'm like, oh, these kids, they look alike. Are they like sperm bank kids or something? And I'm like, no. But then like a hobosexual, because I'm not against a hobosexual. I'm not. It's like if you're nice and you're cute and you're doing stuff for me, but then it's like you're nice, you're cute, you're doing stuff for me. Even if you did look like The Rock or like Jason Momoa or something, and it's like you're fine as fuck, but if you're just sitting home all day, even if you went to the gym all day and you were just like ripped and you were like picking me up and stuff, and I was just having the time of my life, I would become bitter after a while because it's like you can't even do Uber, you can't do DoorDash, you can't do like I don't know what any of those services are where you do it when you feel like it, all that stuff. And it would just make me think like you're cute, but you need to make me like you need to be like so nice and to make me feel like it's not even like make me feel good or make me feel happy. It's just like it's like you're cute, but then like your cuteness will wear off like after a while, and then I would just be like bitter because it's like, why don't you get a job? You can't do anything. But then again, I wouldn't want them to do like DoorDash or like Instacart or Uber because then like if we're together and then people know I'm with you and then people see you doing that, then that makes me look bad and I'd be embarrassed. And it's like if you did it, go somewhere far away where we don't know anybody. And then it's like, but then again, I'm not one of those people that goes out to like dinner parties and stuff like that. And I don't feel the need to introduce my significant other to people. But it would be like awkward if like we ended up in a situation like that or something. And people are like, oh, what do you do for a living? And then it's like, oh, yeah. And it's like, yeah, I'm just a pretty face. And she lets me do what I want because I'm a pretty face. But I feel like if, because this might sound like sexist or whatever, because it was like back in the day when the housewife was at home, like the husband expected her to clean the house, come home looking nice and everything. Because it's like, if that was me, I would, and I was with a hobosexual, because I see a housewife as a hobosexual, basically. That might sound wrong because it's like, think about it. What did she do before she was with you? Did she have a job or something? Could she take care of herself? Because it's like she might have been able to do all that, but then she gave all that up and she became a housewife. And if you break up with her, she's going to have nothing most likely. So she'd be a hobosexual. So basically, I see like a stay-at-home wife, housewife that's and like they're not working at home or anything or going out. Because it's like you might be home to take care of your kids, but then when he leaves, you might leave and go to work. And I wouldn't say that's a hobosexual. I would say that's an equal relationship. But if you're home taking care of the kids and stuff, I would consider you a hobosexual if you don't have a job. Where if I left you, you would have to go find a relationship or somebody to live with. So basically, in that sense of a housewife, because basically, if I got with somebody and they stayed home and everything, they'd be a hobosexual housewife. So I'm thinking, like, I would want the same things that men wanted back in like the old days. It's like you wanted your wife to look nice, you wanted to come home to a clean house and a nice cooked meal. I'd want to come home to a nice clean house, a nice cooked meal, And I would expect him to spend at least a couple of hours a week in the gym, like daily, to like look like The Rock or like Jason Momoa. Because it's like if you're not doing anything else, it's like look cute. But then if you look too cute, I don't know. Yeah, because it's like if you look cute and I'm with you, I like when you look cute when I'm with you. But when I dump you, I don't want you to look so cute where you're moving on to somebody else, where there's basically a line of people waiting for you. Yeah, I don't know. It's like a complicated thing. But then it's like, I understand when you get older and like people are turning like 40 and then they haven't found the one and then they get a hobosexual to start a family with. Because it's like a hobosexual, because I'm assuming if I did get with one, they're going to be home, so they're going to take care of the kid and everything. But it would have to be a nice one. And yeah. But then, like, I don't know if I had a kid with a hobosexual, how things would work out. Because if I had a kid, I'm going to be in pain and I'm going to be bitter. And I'm like, you don't have a job. And yeah. But I would say the best thing about a hobosexual is if you wanted to have a family, you could have a family with a hobosexual, and then the kids would know who their father is instead of going to a sperm donor. That's one of the, that's like the main thing that I can think about, like that a hobosexual would be good for. And that's only like a nice hobosexual that like does stuff and loyal and all that stuff, and a hobosexual that likes you. I don't want one of those like fake hobosexuals. I don't know. Like really makes you think about the hobosexuals, and it's like hobosexual season and they're like out in masses. And then they deny that they're hobosexuals. And then when you ask them, they're like, "Oh, I don't know what a homosexual is." And then they try and say, "Oh, you're saying, are you saying homosexual?" I'm like, "No, I'm saying hobosexual." Because I feel, because this is a funny thing, because I was talking to somebody earlier and they were like, "Oh, where did the name?" And they're like, "Oh, hobosexual, I get it." And then because it's like you're a hobo, and then you think about it, why are they called hobosexuals? Because I'm assuming the term was coined after homosexual, because I would think if I went back and renamed it and I got first dibs on homosexual, if I would take homosexual, and because it's like homeless, homo, and I would have went with homosexual instead of hobosexual. Or I would have went like homosexual or hobosexual, because they sound the same, hobo, homo, and just to both mean like homeless person looking for a relationship. Yeah, which makes it interesting. But then if I dated a hobosexual, that would be like awkward, because I've never had to pay for anything. Except like one time when I went out with this guy. That was awkward. But yeah, I went on a date with a Chinese guy and it was awkward because then I had to pay for myself. But I don't know, because every date, every guy I've gone out with, they pay, so it would be awkward. And then even when I pay, I don't like, some guys are like, "Oh, what are you doing? Are you going to do something?" And it's like, no, I don't date guys like that. But it would be interesting, because then I would have to pay for everything if if I dated a hobosexual. But, and then I'd have to change my lifestyle too, because then it would be like my income to pay for everything and do everything. So if I had a family, I'd have to do everything and not expect anything from a hobosexual. And it's like, do I really want to live my life like that with a hobosexual? Or do I want to be like childless? Or find a guy that wants to have kids? But I feel like to find a guy that wants to have kids in marriage, I feel like I need to go to like Salt Lake City or Colorado or Idaho. Or like those places where people want to do that. Yeah. Because the one thing that I can at least say about a hobosexual, They are not after me for citizenship, and that's a good thing. Because that's one thing why I only date people with U.S. citizenship. Because I'm not getting conned out of my citizenship. I've had people try and con me out of my citizenship, and it's like, no. Yeah, it really makes you think. But if you like, watch and subscribe. I'll probably have more videos in the series if you like. Bye.